Hi everyone, welcome back to KG Graves. We're in Greatoak Cemetery in Roxbury, Connecticut, USA, and we're here to visit the grave of the actor Richard Widmark, who starred in The Alamo, one of the many films he performed in. I hope you enjoy the video. More information coming up shortly.
I know it must be lovely, but
I've seen wickiups 20 feet across, with windmills in the doorway to catch the night breeze.
it's just not practical.
The boy would see his first big buffalo herd. All the little calves had grown now, playing like puppies.
He needs schooling.
He'd done more than he'd ever find in books. The lasting kind. The meaning of the seasons. The sun, the moon. And friendship. Real things.
Never having a real home.
Home's where we'd be. We'd make it real.
It's not what I planned.
Richard Widmark was born on the 26th of December 1914 in Sunrise Township, Minnesota, USA, the son of Carl Henry Widmark and Ethel May (née Barr). He was an American film, stage and television actor and producer. He grew up in Princeton, Illinois, and lived in Henry, Illinois for a short time. He attended Lake Forest College, where he studied acting and taught acting after he graduated with a Bachelor of Arts degree in speech in 1936. Richard made his debut as a radio actor in 1938 on Aunt Jenny's Real Life Stories. In 1941 and 1942, he was heard daily on the Mutual Broadcasting System in the title role of the daytime serial Front Page Farrell. During the 1940s, he was also heard on such network radio programs as Gangbusters, The Shadow, Inner Sanctum Mysteries, Joyce Jordan MD, Molly Mystery Theatre, Suspense, and Ethel and Albert. In 1952, he portrayed Cincinnatus Shryock in an episode of Cavalcade of America titled Adventure on the Kentucky. He returned to radio drama decades later, performing on CBS Radio Mystery Theatre 1974 to 82, and was also one of the 5 hosts on the Sears Radio Theatre as the Friday Night Adventure Night host during 1979 to 1980. Richard appeared on Broadway in 1943 in Kiss and Tell and in Getaway Old Man, which ran for 13 performances. He was in Chicago appearing in a stage production of Dream Girl with June Havoc when 20th Century Fox signed him to a 7-year contract. His first movie appearance was in the 1947 film noir Kiss of Death as the giggling, sociopathic villain Tommy Udo. In his most notorious scene, Udo pushes a woman in a wheelchair, played by Mildred Dunnock, down a flight of stairs to her death. Kiss of Death was a commercial success, and Richard won the Golden Globe Award for New Star of the Year Actor and was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for his performance. Richard's next films were The Street with No Name, Roadhouse, and the western Yellow Sky with Gregory Peck and Ann Baxter, all 1948. And in 1949's Down to the Sea in Ships and Slattery's Hurricane. Another standout role was in the racial melodrama No Way Out 1950 with Sidney Poitier in his debut film. Also in 1950 was Panic in the Streets. His next starring role was in the 1951 World War II drama The Frogmen. This movie is cited by many Navy SEALs as the reason they joined the Navy. He also featured in Halls of Montezuma 1951 and Don't Bother to Knock 1952 with Marilyn Monroe, and appeared in Pick Up on South Street 1953 and Hell and High Water 1954. Richard was a mystery guest on the CBS quiz show What's My Line, also in 1954. The following year, he made a rare appearance on I Love Lucy, portraying himself when a starstruck Lucy trespasses onto his property to steal a souvenir. He finds Lucy sprawled out on his living room floor underneath a bearskin rug. Richard produced and starred in the film Time Limit 1957 and continued to appear in several successful films, including The Tunnel of Love 1959 with Doris Day, and the westerns Warlock, also 1959 with Henry Fonda, and in John Wayne's The Alamo 1960 as Jim Bowie. Next was the courtroom drama Judgment at Nuremberg and The Secret Ways, both 1961, which he was an uncredited director. He reunited with Sidney Poitier in The Long Ships 1964. In 1965, he was in The Bedford Incident, his third film with Sidney Poitier and loosely based on the Herman Melville novel Moby Dick. Richard received an Emmy Award nomination for his performance as Paul Rudebush, the President of the United States, in the TV movie Vanished, 1971. In 1972, he reprised the detective role from Don Siegel's Madigan, 1968, with 6 90-minute episodes on the NBC Wednesday mystery movie. Richard began to drift into supporting roles, though he still played the occasional lead, for instance, in the 1976 British West German film To the Devil a Daughter. He was part of an all-star cast in the 1974 film Murder on the Orient Express, playing the murder victim, and in the 1977 film Roller Coaster and The Swarm 1978. He had a prominent support role in Coma 1978 with Genevieve Bujold and Michael Douglas, and was in the TV movie Mr. Horn 1979. Richard continued to appear in several films during the 1980s, again with Sidney Poitier, who directed him in the comedy Hanky Panky 1982 with Gene Wilder. He also featured in the political thriller Who Dares Wins 1982 and Against All Odds 1984 with Jeff Bridges. His last television role was in the critically acclaimed TNT adaptation of Cold Sassy Tree 1989 alongside Faye Dunaway. In all, Richard appeared in 63 films during his career, and he made his final film appearance in the 1991 drama True Colours. He was also in 14 TV shows. In an interview with Michael Sheldon in 2002, he complained that movie making has lost a lot of its magic. He thought it had become mostly a mechanical process. All they want to do is move the camera around like it was on a roller coaster. A great director like John Ford knew how to handle it. Ford didn't move the camera, he moved the people. In his personal life, Richard was married to screenwriter Jean Hazelwood for 55 years from 1942 until her death in 1997. They had one daughter, Anne Heath Widmark. He named his film production company Heath Productions after her. In 1999, Richard married socialite Susan Blanchard. She had been Henry Fonda's third wife. Despite having spent a substantial part of his career appearing in gun-toting roles such as cowboys, police officers, gangsters and soldiers, Richard disliked firearms and was involved in several gun control initiatives. In 1976 he stated, "I know I've made kind of a half-assed career out of violence, but I abhor violence. I am an ardent supporter of gun control. It seems incredible to me that the United States is the only civilized nation that doesn't put some effective controls on guns." Richard died after a long illness on the 24th of March 2008 at his home in Roxbury, Connecticut at the age of 93. His failing health in his final years was aggravated by a fall he suffered in 2007, which he fractured a vertebrae. Richard has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame at 6800 Hollywood Boulevard. In 2002 he was inducted into the Western Performers Hall of Fame at the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum in Oklahoma City. Let's see where his grave is located. So there you have it, the grave of Richard Widmark, actor and star of The Alamo and many more movies. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you on the next one. As usual, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell for more videos like this.